people do have a problem with female boss. So I couldn't wait to be a woman in the upper echelon of the hierarchy. I've done the pink sari, crossing my legs when certain people come, uncrossing when they leave. Like, you know, all of that. It's really hard as an actor when you're dancing. You don't look your best, you don't feel your best, you're in pain, you're bloated. And trust me, we don't want to be jumping in wine pants. No. If we try to converse and try to understand each other, it will be healing overall.
Welcome to a brand new show called The Male Feminist, and we have with us Shruti Haasan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Before I do anything, I want to set up this space as a safe space. Because
it's my living room, so
yeah,
sure.
more than anything, I want to be known as the guy who's trying to figure out how we can be better as not just men, but
As a species.
as a species. Good way to put it.
As co-companions on this planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you a feminist?
Yes, I am. In the way I live, in the way I think, in all of that. But I also take umbrage with certain people who've like usurped the term. And it's kind of like rock star. You know, some randos have been calling themselves rock stars. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I respect everyone who does, associate with the term because they have their reasons, their stories. And I think the biggest battle we are facing internally as women is to strengthen the sisterhood. So I would say, yes, I am.
So you've been saying this before. I think you were quoted saying you're a feminine force around the people that you are with. Uska matlab kya hua? Like, what is then feminism to you?
I think the first example in my home is my own mum.
Yeah.
And then her friends, my teachers, the women around me who set an example of grace. And by grace, I don't mean that. I mean the grace of knowing who you are, why you are, and not having to shove it into anyone's face in a particular way. Yeah. But I also really value the women who do need to scream from rooftops and shove it in people's face, because the female fight is very different for every woman, depending on strata of society, depending on part of the world, which part of the country. But I feel for me personally, I want to be a woman who is open to having conversation, just like you are open to having this dialogue and conversation. I think the biggest problem that we're facing in the world is people aren't just willing to have this conversation, especially with things you don't understand. So it is about understanding and trying to understand why certain oppository forces have formed in a particular way. Where do I stand in opposition to that or in agreement? So to kind of not associate with a cluster, but to be a positive female force to women in my life and the men in my life.
Do you have instances in your life where you remember saying, now I started living independently, तो मैं अपनी तरीके से ये करूँगी?
Always.
So
I've been like that since I was a kid, and I credit my parents for it.
For the space they provided?
I never had that thing of you're a girl, you can't do this.
Yeah?
No, not from my dad, definitely not from my mum.
Yeah.
You know, the issue is when I came out into the world.
That's what?
It was huge. Then came into an industry that is very male-dominated and hierarchically driven. So I couldn't wait to be a woman in the upper echelon of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
At least in that point of view. But I would say that, there are certain things which have been quite alarming. And it's just ingrained in what we believe are very educated and open-minded men.
Really? That's the one, those are the ones I'm talking about.
Wearing the new off-whites and studied in England and all of that, and came back and started a brewery or something, and they look fine. No. Suddenly that instance will come, which is alarming. That's the red flag. And that's something I've seen in relationships particularly. Yeah. Somebody on an ad shoot recently told me, but now you should get married, right? Like you're in your 30s. Someone who, in my own line of industry, who represents me. Okay. And it was just, he's going to make a commission off of the money I am providing. Right? Do you understand? But it's just so instinctively ingrained. And I said, okay, let me explain why that doesn't make sense. Did you get a memo that we didn't receive? That we should be shipped off? Or that this milk has gone bad? Or that I should be married, or you probably shouldn't have married when you did? There is no such memos flying around. It's conditioning. There is the age is a huge thing, of when you're supposed to get married. That's something I constantly hear.
Another thing that you all said, and I know Santanu, so I know where this is coming from, where you said a partnership can also mean exchange of ideas. I think that's beautiful, Ra.
I have found the most amazing thing with him is I stopped fighting. I don't know if that makes sense. I stopped having to prove and I stopped having to fight that fight because he wasn't questioning it. It just wasn't a question. Like being an equal was not even a discussion. It is.
It is.
It is.
ऐसे होना चाहिए.
It is like this. It's natural to him. And that's why this relationship means so much to me as a person.
Correct. You have to be comfortable in your skin and have the partner be comfortable in theirs, and then the space is also comfortable.
Yeah. He's not like, I'm a feminist, I support my woman. He's like, yeah, but what else way is there to be? The ease of that is what I love.
So you start living the emotion and then you automatically will be.
Exactly.
Perfect. So what we've done is we've divided this whole thing into 3 broad chunks. Okay? And this is by the timelines of our life. So growing up, did you ever have family tell you कि भाई guest आए तो पानी लेके आओ या कुछ serve करो, etc.?
Yeah, but I think if I were a boy, it would have been the same thing.
Fair.
I genuinely think it was just about hospitality. I still have that. Yeah.
Same, our household also.
Yeah. It's just be good, be hospitable. Don't think anything is below you, especially in your own home. Like, this is only for my domestic help. No.
Yeah. Were there any timing restrictions in your household?
My parents were a little concerned in overall about safety. Not because I was a girl alone. They were very particular about which kind of homes we had sleepovers in and where for their reasons.
Yeah.
The greatest thing they did give me was saying, you're smart, you should be able to take care of yourself. If you feel you can't, don't go out.
Did you ever feel like, or either of you, Akshara also could have said that, felt like कि अगर मेरा भाई होता तो क्या होता? वो thought कभी आया?
No.
नहीं ना?
I think we're more like brothers than anything else. So we played video games, listened to heavy metal, played sports, and would occasionally beat other people up who troubled either of us. So that pretty much yeah.
The beating up was the next question.
Yeah.
And this comes from my wife because she's also has an older sister.
Yeah.
And bully kiya. And the elder sister went and took care of
him.
Oh
no, Akshu would beat up people for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Please tell.
That is what would happen. I was more like, I'm more of a verbal assaulter, but Akshara is like silent and violent. I remember somebody called me the B word once, okay, in a rehearsal or something. And he was like, Shruti, you're such a B. And I was like, whatever. And the next thing I hear is this man screaming, screaming. And Akshara's taken one of those, those Shaolin bamboo kuchis, like Salambatam kuchis, and she like hit him from behind. Then he's like barking him, saying, how dare you call my akka that? And I was like, it's fine. No, it's not fine. So she's that.
Did you get Tane, like you've already touched upon this, about getting married? Because it starts off for Indian women at like 25.
No, not at all. I got Tane for something really weird and this is the kind of show where I can actually talk about it. I got my first period around that time and I've suffered from something called dysmenorrhea from my very first period, which means it was extremely heavy, extremely painful. I was throwing up in school and once a month, once every alternate month, my whole school would know I had my period because I would pass out and I would have to be sent home or to the hospital. It was very weird, and I think a big part of why I speak about it openly today about menstrual health and female hormones and managing them is
PCOS,
PCOD is because everyone in my school knew when I was a teenager that these were the 4 days of Shruti Haasan being in pain or not being herself. In a beautiful way, removed the stigma from it. It removed the stigma because then even my male friends, my teachers are like, oh, okay, sit there. Don't worry. Don't do PT today. It just became like an understood...
Like a given.
A given. Yeah, a given. And then it took me about 5-6 years into the business and I still suffer from like really bad cramps. And then the director would be like, why is it not coming? I'd be like, because I'm in pain. And I realize a lot of women have a problem as if they're inadequate or failures of some kind for not being able to manage their monthly pains. And it's really hard as an actor when you're dancing, when you're doing stunts, you don't look your best, you don't feel your best, you're in pain, you're bloated. I think today is a great day in this kind of a show to say that it would be great to have more sensitivity in that department, because we're literally fighting a battle with our bodies that day, and our poor bodies are just doing what they're supposed to do. So it's such a double-edged sword. There are women who have comfortable periods, let's call it that, a comfortable monthly cycle, but there's a lot of us who don't. And trust me, we don't want to be jumping in white pants. No. We want to sit on the couch, have something warm and cry a little bit. That's really how painful it is.
You had a bunch of people talk about this surgery that you had also, and that was a big thing.
My nose?
Yeah. Does that also translate for people ki bhai authority hai kyunki public figure hai isliye bol sakte hain, and you came back saying,
I did get my nose fixed, and it was very obvious I got my nose fixed. My nose was broken and quite different before. And I did my first film with my old nose.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, she's just using the deviated septum excuse. No, I did have a deviated septum. It hurt. But if I could make it prettier, it's my face. Why wouldn't I?
Sahi baat.
It was that simple. I don't feel the need to justify why I want to look a certain way for myself. Then they said, did you get fillers? Yeah, I did. And tomorrow, would you get a facelift? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It's my body. And those who want to do whatever they want to or don't want to, I don't condone it. I don't want people to say, Shruti sabko bol rahi hai ki jaake filler lagao. नहीं. आपको करना है करो, नहीं करना है नहीं करो. मुझे बस अपने काम पे छोड़ दो. बस.
The deduction that I wanted from this answer, because I know this answer, हमारी पहले बात हुई है इसके बारे में. The answer is कि ये confidence किधर से लाते हो आप?
So, a lot of people, at one point there was, Shruti doesn't look like a heroine. Shruti has a foreigner face. She's very talented, but she doesn't look Indian enough. But I've only been cast as village girl in majority of my movies. ये कौन सा village है?
मस्त साड़ी पहन के आएगी अभी?
No, so it's been very confusing to me. This face, these clothes, this is not what somebody asked me to do. Mostly people are requesting me to not be wearing black. And can you not do that? But I like being this way. And it's fine. That's it.
So
it's not confidence. It's like, I've done the pink sari. I've done that crossing my legs when certain people come uncrossing when they leave. Like, all of that. And I'm just tired.
Does it stem from कि मैंने अपने आप को पहले पहचाना और अभी मैं हूँ जैसी मैं हूँ?
Yeah.
है ना?
And it comes from being in your 30s.
Yeah.
I think most women in their 30s will be like, you hit 30, certain things go up, certain things go down. You just figure the rest out. Yeah. No, it's just, I don't know if it's confidence. It's just tiresome to now try and fit in. I want to get better at what I do. I want to do it at my time, my pace. That's it.
You've had men in life and, has it ever happened that you've had to explain feminism or just how to be better?
I break up with them.
Really?
Yeah. If I have to explain the basics, then it's just a no-go for me. Sorry. I don't have the bandwidth. Then I can, in a friendly way, over conversations, over 6 months, say, listen, dude, this is the problem. There are times I say, no, I think you need to little bit understand where I'm coming from. Sure. But that basics that they don't, like, of course you take my surname. I was like, bye.
ये क्या बात होता है? Of course.
Yeah. Stuff like that is just non-negotiable.
Or stuff like when you're working, and this has happened in my household, when you're working, the house help will come and talk to the woman in the house. Has that happened in your house? Like when both of you are working, like, and this is a very work from home situation.
Not. My domestic help is amazing.
Yeah.
Shantanu's amazing around the house.
Yeah.
I'm half amazing, so because I'm never here. So we really don't have that problem here.
That's a good.
I think I know, though, that I have seen this and my friends have, is with male staff, they are not comfortable taking instructions from the female partner.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what, na?
The money is coming from there, but the instructions are coming from the husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I've
उनको
seen.
अड़काने का रहेगा या उनको कुछ बोलने का रहेगा तो भी आप रूट ऐसे करते.
People do have a problem with female bosses. Yeah. I've seen people, like, say, my assistant yell at a guy, like, horribly, and they'll be like, sorry, okay. But if I was like, what are you doing? It's something. Can't explain it. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of women will relate.
है ना?
Yeah.
Is there a thing that you'd want to tell your 16-year-old self?
I would say to that girl that listen to everyone, but you don't have to agree with everyone.
Perfect.
That was the trick that took me a while to master.
So just as men, how can we be better allies? ये सवाल.
मैं एक बात कहूँ कि I don't think, yes, ये show जो आपका है, it's about you trying to understand the female gaze, which is great. I think as human beings, we all have room for improvement.
Yeah.
And अगर भले आप आदमी हो या औरत, if you take the time to understand another point of view, भले आप agree करें नहीं, समझ तो लो where they can come. And the more you study your enemy, your friends, your lovers and your saints, you're going to sort yourself out, I feel. Like, so as people, if we try to converse and try to understand each other, it will be healing overall. That's really what I want.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on The Male Feminist. This is me, Sid, signing off. Do let us know in the comments below what you like, did not like, what is your takeaway.
और हाँ, finally we spoke in Hindi because that's the main comment.
Yeah.
ये लोग अंग्रेजी में क्यों बोलते रहते हैं? Yeah.
हमने काफी हिंदी में वार्तालाप किया है. श्रुति को मैं वैसे भी
वार्तालाप
बहुत हिंदी सिखाता रहता हूँ बैकग्राउंड में. But thank you so much. Please like, share and comment on this video and don't forget to subscribe to The Hot Fly.